Hello, episode of Mindset Monday. This is Miriam Edwards, and this is 2024. I am so excited that we are on the other side of 2023. There are so many things that happened just yesterday, just a minute ago, just a minute before the clock strike 2024. But guess what? We are here. The fact or you're viewing this, you're alive. So let's celebrate 2024. We are here in a new day, a new year, and everything new. And just going back to childhood, when we get a new toy or a new dress for the ladies or a new outfit for anyone for that matter, there is a sense of mm, excitement. So, as we are in a new year, we're excited. Some of us popped champagne, or for me, I popped the apple cider, thing, and just drink it up. Happy New Year, or eat a piece of cake, or drink a little sorrel wine. But whatever you did, I know it was an excitement. So today, as we bask in the excitement of a new year, let's not lose sight of our goals, our dreams, our aspiration. Remember, God said, I bring all things new. That means every day is a new day. We just went to an entire 365 round, and we are on a new first day for this side of the world. Another side of the world is entering into a second day of 2024. But since we're on this side, we are celebrating the first day. So do not allow the excitement to wear off. Make sure that your goals, your dreams, your vision board is up. Whatever you have set, your short term, your long term goals, make sure you lose no sight of what you are about. Because when all the dust settles, when there is no grandeur in you anymore, you still have to pursue. My word for this year is pursue. Although I will have several different words in different episodes, but my word for this year is pursue. You might ask me, pursue what? Pursue everything. Pursue goals. Pursue my God given potential. Pursue my God given right. Because guess what? God has called me to be, to do, to have, and to help. So I will pursue whatever God has created me for. I will revisit my goals, revisit the wisdom book, the Bible, because it told me that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And it also told me in Jeremiah 29, verse 11, the thoughts I think about you are thoughts of good and not of evil, to give you an expected end. So therefore, there are so many things that is actually already set for me. I just need to pursue, go after it, and then my creator, God, will say, well done. So that's my word. You can share your word with me. That means we're on the right path. We are excited about new, but we are settled in the fact that we have set goals, we have realigned, we have reassessed, and we have readjusted for this newness that's happening. With that all said, we have a special guest today on our program. Today's topic is there a cause? And my guest today is DK Reed. She'll be sharing with us her experience. She'll be sharing with us her life story. Many years ago, round about this time of the year, tragedy, different experiences, but she is here today to celebrate life, to celebrate new, and to pursue what is left in her life to receive her crown when God will say, "Well done." So I will introduce to you my guest, DK Reed.
Hi, Auntie. Thank you.
Deviana, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Auntie. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you today. I'm super excited to be with you for so many reasons.
And I'm so excited you're here. I hear those, we call them winky, right? I hear those winky in the background. They're excited with you. They're excited that you're alive and that you're here to share. And they're just waiting to hear what you have to say.
I guess.
So they're talking to us. So share with me a little bit about you and then we can get in the meat of the matter.
Well, the name is Devana K. Reed, but it's DK Reed for short. I am, I think, 35 or 36. I don't remember. One of those two age. I'm a mother of two wonderful kids, Destiny and Akari. I call them my twin. They're actually 2 years apart. Both of them are actually February babies, so their birthdays will be coming up pretty soon. And I think I'm a lover. I'm a person who loves life, and it doesn't matter what life throws at me. I try to find a way just to pivot and move. In short, I think that would describe me best.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Loving life, loving and moving on. It's it's such a wonder when a young person rise above challenges, rise above everything that may cause setback and realize that there is still life left. There is still living. There is still joy beyond the curves and the turns that you may face. And what a fitting time to look at this particular aspect of your life than the first day of a new year, new you, new perspective, where you can share with other young persons, where you can share with older persons, where you can share with other mature, wisdom, wise people how to pivot and how to move on after setback.
Okay.
So, my first question to you, before I go, do you have anything else to say before I jump in the
No, not
questions?
right now. No.
Okay. My first questions. Can you share with us the story of your accident and the challenges that you faced during your recovery process? Or am I jumping too far ahead?
No, no, Auntie. You're right. You're right on the ball. Um, I have a confession to make, and I'm going to be
Hmm.
as real and as I'm going to be as real as possible. I don't think I can do
Sure.
anything else. I think that's me by nature. So when you approach me to say, DK, I want you to come on my program and talk about your experience and everything else, life itself. And when you said January, I was like, no, no, that not gonna work out none at all. Because actually tomorrow will make 17 years since I was my accident. So anytime around this period, it's all I shy away from a lot. I don't want to do a lot of things, and then for some unfortunate situation, I tend to get sick throughout this period. But one of the things I must say about my accident is I throughout the period I was really depressed. But let me backtrack a bit. So in '07, was coming home from work. Actually started working pretty early. I started working from 15 years old because I always wanted the opportunity to provide for myself. Whatever it is I wanted to be able to say, okay, DK, you're able to do this. So while in sixth form, lower sixth form, upper sixth form, right after I finished fifth form, I actually went right into a job. So throughout that period, I was able to assist in terms of paying my school fees and everything else. For that period, work was extremely busy. I was actually working at a gas station at that time, supervising the staff. Boulevard, not Boulevard, I think it was, it's a gas station in Ligani at the time. My first job. I was coming home from work. My aunt was actually taking me home. My mom was in the vehicle as well as my cousin. Unfortunately, we were on Bagwalk Gorge. A motor vehicle ran into the vehicle, and that was it on the second. Um, Throughout the accident, I was aware of what was happening, but everyone was passing because they were saying, she dead. I was trapped in the vehicle. My neck was trapped. Both hands, just one hand wasn't trapped. Both legs were trapped. The front of the vehicle actually came down on both my legs. So it was at the time everybody was looking on. Persons were taking photos, and no one was assisting. And I remember a gentleman came and he put his hand and I said, "Don't leave me, I'm alive." And he was there with me throughout the entire process until I went to Spanish Town Hospital. It was based on my situation, it was quite critical. So I was transported immediately to Kingston Public Hospital. While there, throughout the process, they told me that my neck was broken. I had a think C5 to C7 injury at the time. So I had to do a major surgery. Piece of my hip was removed, placed in my neck. So I have a lot of platings and stuff. Um, what was funny though was that I remember every day the hospital was full with people, my family members, my classmates, my co-workers, and every single body came in. They were crying and unbelievable. And it was actually last week when my auntie something happened, and she was saying, don't let this down to, because when you were in the hospital and everybody came, you were laughing. You were like, "What? I want to know what I cry for." Because throughout that period for me, each day I was able to make a little improvement. Says it that my eyes move, I was able to feel my nose, I was able to feel my neck. So through it all, and I realized that every day I woke up, I was alive and I was breathing. It was hard, but God gave me another opportunity to live. And I think
Amen.
throughout that entire process, I to say I was depressed, I would be lying, because what it also allowed me to do is draw much closer to God. And throughout
Amen.
that period as well, I was actually in the transition to actually become baptized in Kingdom Hall and everything. So I was on that journey. I was on that path. I was ready to make that leap or that step. So it for me, that wasn't the rough part. The rough part was because I've always been ambitious. One of the things that actually happened while I was working, I did the soldier test and I got through, and they said, you can sign up as an officer and everything. So when I thought about that and all the goals and aspirations that I knew I had and wanted to achieve, I was daunted a bit. But what I did then, right after I came out of hospital, I was in hospital as well as physiotherapy in all for about 9 to 10 months, in between KPH and Mona Rehab. After that, I came out, like for the second or third week. I wanted to go back to school. I wanted to
Mhm.
be able to finish my CAPE units. And I did. I started. And I remember one day, I couldn't sit up or anything, but I decided, listen, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to, I need to complete schooling. I need to be able to achieve what is it I want out of life. And when I went back, you know, I lay down in the car and I was talking to my teachers and everything. And there was a young lady who passed and she said, "Oh, what up, man?" And I don't know what happened. It it took me for, it really threw me for a loop. And for a period of time, like probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I didn't know how to move. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't myself again. I started to second guessing, what am I gonna do? And then I picked up by myself and I say, listen, no, what next? And then I started back school, finished my CAPE units, and I got in contact. My physiatrist at the time, Dr. Paula Dawson, indicated that you need to do additional therapy. So I went to Cuba for a few months. The Cuba experience for me was super amazing. I actually went with my cousin Suzanne, and it was two young girls on our own finding ourselves, me in my situation, but also finding, regrouping, and just pivoting and knowing that, listen, no matter what life throws you can do it. And throughout the period as well, I also applied for university. So I actually found out that I got accepted while I was in Cuba doing therapy. I came back from therapy in September. I don't remember the year, but it was September. And I said, I'm going to lay off until probably start school the January. And my neighbor at the time, she was enrolled in UA, and she said, no, man, just try to do it. And the university living on campus life was up and down, but I had a lot of soldiers. I had a lot of persons who supported me, namely Haley McFarlane, she was one of the persons that were with me throughout the period. Jordan was there as well for a period of time. Haley, she would assisted in terms of ensuring that I got my bath, everything. And then, my real troop, my soldiers, my friends, Maya Grant, up to this day, she she's with me. And you
It's
know,
okay to understand. It's okay.
um
It's okay.
yeah.
It's okay.
So
You
while
are
you
fine.
know so while in university it wasn't easy, but I think what made it profound is that you realize that everyone have their own story. Every single body have their own story, and I think what makes me unique is that when I gravitate towards somebody and someone, and I decide that you're my person forever, and I can't say I couldn't do it without them. Amaya Grant, a Haley McFarlane, and even Vince Ford, I couldn't do it without them. There are also a few unnamed soldiers that I couldn't do it. You have a few persons in the faculty office at UE. You have a few teachers that they were with me throughout the entire process. So, I am forever grateful for that experience. We had amazing times and we had rough times. So, for that, I am forever grateful. Um, and then, tough it out was going to UA. An opportunity came up for me to work at Digicel as an intern. One of my lifelong friends, Judine Hunter, she told them about me, but they always knew about me because she was one of those persons, even after my accident, she ensured that we went out. We did everything that we used to do just to ensure that everything stayed current. Sometimes you have Trudy that would come with us as well. So, it was there. And then when I went to Digicel, um, it was supposed to be a 3 months contract. I think I'm there 9 years now.
Mhm.
um it has been up and down, but what I must say, I've learned a lot, and I have had some amazing people to support me throughout that entire journey. um Throughout the period as well, I can't forget my husband, David Reed, who, through it all has stuff it out with me. It's not perfect. I don't think anything in life is perfect. We are going through a trying time now. But whatever happens, I think God will provide and that will be fine. We have two amazing kids together, and they are my joy. They are my reason. So it doesn't matter what life throws at me. I just stay motivated, and I decide that, listen, I, with the guidance of God, will define what I want. And if changes come and I need to pivot and move and do something differently, then no problem. That has to be done. So I think in short, that's my journey. I think I went covered a lot of things, Auntie, sorry.
That's
But
okay.
I think, yeah,
That's
that's
okay.
that's the journey.
Whenever something comes to mind and you're able to vocalize it, that's what is needed for this particular time. Everything is perfect as it is said. Someone is being benefited from this because for someone that has gone through an accident and basically a death experience because no one knew you were actually alive still, and that good soldier, God sent him for him just to check if there was breathing going on and you were able to talk. So you were destined for this day. There is a cause, there's a reason why you are alive, and is to share with others, to share with someone on this first day of January, because there are many persons over the world today. They are depressed on the first day of a new year. Remember, everything is new every day. There's a new day, the dawn of a new day. But there are people who are depressed. They have lost the reason to live. And you have come to share with them that there is a cause. Is there a cause for Deviana to just get up, to pivot? I realize your words are pivot and two words you consistently use. At the pivot, and the other one is,
I know pivot. I'm
it's
not sure.
okay. So I
Yeah.
guess that's your word for the year, pivot. So whatever happens, she can pivot. When you were talking earlier about you decided to go to university and someone made a remark and you slum into a period of I'm not good enough. Basically, that's what you were saying. Your mental focus shifted because of someone's perception, but you regroup, pivot, and regroup. You regroup, you pivoted, and you recognize that your purpose is not contingent on their perception or what they verbalize, but your purpose is contingent on what God has designed. Because void of you having a disability because of an accident, it did not hinder you pursuing your career goal. It did not hinder you from procreating. It did not hinder you from having your the love of your life, the person that you love from you were going to school. It did not hinder you from sharing in those experiences. And though things are not perfect, but yes, they are perfect because as the Bible declares that all things work together for good. All things are not good, but they work together for good to them that love God. And I hear you echo the sentiments of God has been your mainstay, the purpose, why, the cause why you get up, the cause why you move, the cause why you decide to switch gears, decide to allow your mindset to be rearranged, to be redesigned, to be realigned so you can pursue your purpose that God has created you to accomplish. Wonderful. This is amazing. Amazing. And uh, one other question I want to ask you. You spoke about several different areas. You jumped into rehabilitation also, and you spoke somewhat about the emotional obstacles. But I'm going to ask you to just delve a little bit further in this one. How did you find the strength and the resilience to overcome the physical and emotional obstacles that came with you being disabled at the time?
I have a fighting spirit, and I can't say it any other way. And in addition to that fighting spirit, God has always provided me with a community exactly when I need that community. So I always say, sometime work, and I can touch on work. Sometime work becomes extremely hard or challenging per se, and that is work on a whole. But I
Mm-hmm.
always have my people or my persons, and I remember there was one time I was going through a challenging period, just overall, and there is Audie Grant. She's not there anymore, but every day, she said, DK, we're going to fast, we're going to pray, and it's with that I was able to get through a lot of things that I went through. And then you have your teachers and you have your leaders. You have a Martin theme who, just throw you out and say, listen, you have presentation, so you learn how to present, and you learn how to prepare as well. A Mayoka Brian, and for me, I've learned it through work that age is nothing but a number, because you cannot look at somebody age to define who they are or how they will contribute to your future. And there's a lot of persons, but the final person, or the two final persons would be like Shireen Sebron, who supported me, whether personally or professionally, because even though you're in a professional space, you realize that most of your days are spent there. So sometimes you're emotionally drained based on
Mm-hmm.
not work related issues, but probably personal issues that you don't want to spill over. So you have your community that you can talk to, that keeps you motivated. And then you have Michelle Cole. I always speak about her. She's one of the youngest persons I've worked with, and she is amazing. Brilliant, intelligent, and what you have to love and admire about her. Where you say you look about a talawa,
Mm-hmm.
is a dynamite, because what she does, she takes her community with her. And what I've learned from her is that if you have a challenge with somebody, talk about it. So we had challenges and we spoke about it, and worked on ways how can I improve my weak areas. So a lot of my growth and development, is as a result of her as well. My two last directors, I'm going to touch on them. Christine Saraj, she was one of the persons when I said, Christine, I want to do training. And she said, okay, DK, sure you can manage, you have your own portfolio or whatever. But she gave me a lot of opportunities. And once we were working out of town, she found a way to come and, support. She was always there. She was always supportive. So she's someone I always have to remember and big up. And, my current director now, Christine Morrison, boy, she, like sometime when I speak to her, I said, boy, Christine, I can't talk no more, and I kind of feel eerie. Like you're looking at your older self in it's somebody you can look at to say, boy, really, that story kind of similar to mine, but sometimes we share, and then there's a lot of things, especially now that I'm trying to pivot and work through. And she has been supporting, and not just she, but my entire team. It's a small team of ladies. We're not perfect, but when push come to shove, we try to support each other as best as we can. And then my personal team, um, Moya Grant, my adopted dad, Chaplain Lennon, he has been a tower of strength over the last year for me. There is a lot that he's my go-to. You're those elderly persons that you can't just talk to, you can't just tell them real raw chaw. And even though they may not say a lot, they may not contribute a lot. What I realize, especially when you want to talk, you just want to be able to talk. You don't want anybody to say, okay, it's gonna be better, it's gonna be okay. You need to do it this way. You just want somebody where you can level with or level set with. I was gonna say somebody. My dad, I can't leave out my daddy. My father is my friend. Um, My father is a person that I can G down with. I can tell him exactly how I feel. I don't have to sugarcoat it. So those persons, yeah, and my kids, you learn from kids because sometimes you say something and they correct you, and then you have to look. And I always say I wasn't brought up in the best circumstances, emotional wise, or I don't want to get into that now. But when I started to have kids, then I really knew the true meaning of what love is, of unconditional love, loving somebody without boundaries, loving somebody without condition. So, in everything emotional, in terms of my situation, I always say to persons, I don't consider myself disabled. What makes me disabled is when I don't have the facilities made available, when I need to enter a building and there's not a ramp provided, um, when I need to go to a party, but then a taxi is going to say, "Oh, boy, I'm have to charge you for yourself and your chair heavier." Circumstances like that. I want to move. For me, I'm normal. Jamaica don't necessarily have the best facilities, and I can always compare my experience in Cuba to Jamaica in terms of moving around because there were always persons willing to help. We have improved in terms of what we do as a country, but we have room for growth. So to
Yeah.
say, okay, I look at my situation as I'm not disabled. It's really based on the situation, or if I need assistance at a particular time and I can't get it, because I'm always on the go, and sometimes I may become a little bit impatient. So it's learning patience, um, learning learning to say, oh, you can't go everywhere now because yeah, but it's it's about your community. And all in all, finally, you'll have the world around you saying, "Oh, yeah, man, you can do it." In your ears, motivating you. If you're not self-motivated, you're not gonna do it. And I always say to everybody, when you ask somebody, what motivates you, persons are going to say my mom, my dad, my kids. The first thing that motivates me is myself. If I'm not motivated and I can push and I can get up and say, listen, BK can do this, it not make no sense. So even though I have my kids, I have my husband, I have my family, I have my brother, I have my dad, I have my G's, my real G's. It's not the same if you are not self motivated and decide to push and do it on your own. So at the end of the day, I think that's what it all boils down to. Emotional control, or whatever emotional we go through, it really boils down to self. How can we again pivot, learn, and just move on? It's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy any at all. Some days for me is harder than some. The last 3 weeks I would say has been my roughest period in a long while. But I always say when I'm going through it, I put my best foot forward. So let's see.
Wonderful. As you talk about your last 3 weeks has been the most challenging, just piggybacking on what you have said, what you have gone through before, and where you are now, it's actually telling me that you are being set up for greater things. Because if you are sitting in where you're sitting now and you have been elevated to another place than where you started, it tells me that the experiences that you have gone through, those challenges that you have gone through within the last 3 weeks, get ready for the next level of your life. The stage is set for you to launch into the next stage of your life. Because as we set out, as I said, my word is pursue. So you are being prepared to pursue, to rise, and to share your God given right? To share what God has created you for, to share, to give, to be, and to do. One final question or one final statement. Share with a young person, someone who has started college, someone who has started whether a career, doesn't have to be college, but a career path, and they got stuck or they got discouraged because someone said something that would somewhat have them second guess, can I really do this? Just share with them your heart.
Auntie, I preach. You want me preach? Um, as you started to speak, the first word that came to me is purpose. What is your purpose? Do you know your purpose? Can you achieve your purpose? And one of the hardest things is that mental health is real, and it's a statement that I've been seeing going on and on and on. And self-love is also important, because you have to learn to love and appreciate yourself on a different sort of level, to
Mhm.
know that you can do it, to know that you can stay motivated, to know that it doesn't matter what life throws at you, you have to get up. And also, nothing is wrong with being down for a period of time. Nothing is wrong with that. But don't stay down forever, because every day you look in that mirror, you need to remind yourself who you are. But one of the challenges we're having, Auntie, is that a lot of persons don't know who they are. So it's hard for them to find themselves. It's hard for them to say, listen, it's gonna be okay. And once you start, you must finish. So you have to find that grit, that purpose, to say, okay, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And silence the naysayers. People will always talk. People will always talk. You always have detractors saying what they shouldn't or what they think. And one of the things I've learned and I've accepted in this lifetime, everybody know your life more than you. Everybody know about you more than all you know about you. So
Mm.
when you come to that realization and understanding, Auntie, you realize, listen, all right, that's what you're gonna say. Okay, join the club or join the line. But what is it you wanna do? And perfection. Sometimes we all what's the word? We all strive for perfection. Perfection sometimes is hard to come by. So sometimes when you try to perfect it and it doesn't work, nothing. Just you drop, brush off yourself and start again. Nothing is wrong with starting over. A million persons have done it. So nothing is wrong with starting over. So I think that's what I would say to them.
I have learned, I have been aware, and the point, one of the points I wrote down, nothing is wrong in starting over. In order to find your purpose, you first need to know who you are. Who am I? So, on this first day of January 2024, I think this is the right place, the right time, and the right questions to ask ourselves in order to start pursuing our purpose. Who am I? This is your homework for the rest of the week. Find out who you are. Who you are. One mentor reminded us in a talk earlier this week. Many persons, um, that's the little handsome prince. Hello, handsome. Many, the the psychologist said, your identity, a lot of persons said, I am hungry, but that's not your identity. Who are you? Instead of saying, I am hungry, say that my my desire for food, or I desire food. But find out who you are. What is your identity? Who are you? Why are you here? Why was I born? And where am I going? These are the questions you ask yourself, and then you will really be able to find your purpose. Because unless you have a GPS, you will not know where your destination is. Because you can be driving and someone asks you, where are you going? I'm just taking a stroll. That means there is no destiny, there is no point of stopping. Where are you going? Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? These three questions for the first day of a new year. Answer those questions, and you'll be well on your way to seeing your destiny, to seeing your God given purpose come alive. Deviana K, I know I'll be having you again. This is a wonderful, juicy episode where you share your experience. I've learned so much in as much as I'm your aunt, but being in a different sphere of influence, there are things that I'm learning now that I did not know before, because although we are knitted by blood, but we all affect different persons. We're all sharing, we're all giving of our time, our talent, everything to different areas, because we are in a different place, many thousand miles away. But although we're knitted by blood, we are also connecting with others of our families of the world and sharing what God has equipped us to share. Thanks again, and it's definitely a pleasure having you. Viewers, it's so nice to have you today on this first day of January. And
And
the Winkies sharing their testimony, giving thanks to Deviana for sharing. Yes, you were going to say something.
thank you so much. Before you close out, sorry to interject. I want to extend a thank you to you, for being, you are going through a lot, and thank you for all that you have done. You were one of the persons I could depend on to take me to school in the mornings when I was going to Mergrove. So there's a lot I didn't touch on. And then your daughter, Serena, we grew up as sisters. So, as I said, I'll come back, but I just want you to know, just keep your head up, Auntie. I don't even have to tell you that you are one of the persons that I decided to say, listen, I'm gonna do this today for you, because if you can do it, I can do it too. Stay strong, stay motivated, and continue doing what you're doing, because you are doing an amazing and an awesome job. And we, your nieces, your nephews, your entire family, we love and appreciate you.
I thank you. I thank you, my niece. Thank you so, so much. It's always a pleasure hearing that when you share the little and someone have been affected by it, it makes you want to go on and give of your best, that others can be affected by what God has given to us. Thanks again. My YouTube viewers, my Facebook viewers, my Facebook family, thank you. Leave your comments. I'll be happy to hear what you have to say. And remember those three questions as you get ready, as you keep the excitement going and stay in your calling. Why am I here? Who am I first? Why am I here? And where am I going? Answer those three questions at this beginning of a new year, and you'll be setting the tone to a far reaching, to a glide, to a mountain climb, and you'll be happy that you have set the tone. This time in another year, if if our earthly existence continues, you will said, I am happy I started on this journey. Thanks again, DK. It's a pleasure having you.
Definitely.
And
And have a wonderful rest of the day, guys. Thank you so much for listening to my story, and all the best, everyone. Thank you so much.
wonderful. And until next week, this is Miriam Edwards for another episode of Mindset Monday. Have a happy new year.